That's it. We're started, we're recording, and we're welcome. Fredrik, do you want to say something before we start?
Yeah, I took a course with Jonathan in Manchester. How long time ago is it? 5 years? Or?
About 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing, and I'm very glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you. You and your wife are very, well, your wife is very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yours too, or Jane too.
She's not my wife.
No, she's your girlfriend.
Partner,
yeah.
Too old.
I thought you were getting married.
Yes. She's eight weeks older than me, so I'm her toy boy.
Okay, so got it. That's good, excellent. Yeah, some more people will probably be joining us because you say in Sweden, good people arrive late. So
I was just saying to Fredrik, actually, when I run webinars now, I ask people to somebody's echoing back at me.
Yeah.
I ask people to arrive 10 minutes early so that we can find out where everybody's from and have a chat, and then nobody's late then.
yeah, exactly. Okay, but I would say let's go. Yeah. Fredrik, you have a few questions that people have actually asked us, right?
Yeah. Jonathan, you started out as a stage hypnotist, didn't you?
Oh yeah, very much so. I still think of myself as a stage hypnotist. You know, when you see my thing from the Mail on Sunday, Britain's leading hypnotist, the actual quote, I'll drop the word out of it. The actual quote was Britain's leading performing hypnotist. You know, and yeah, I'm a stage hypnotist even when I'm getting rid of somebody's phobia.
Yeah, but you do coaching as well, and you have invented a lot of techniques. I know about the hypnotic symbolism.
I prefer the term developed because, like, there's nothing new. You know, there's a lot of people now saying, "Oh, we do modern hypnosis," and you think, well, you know, I'm 63. I've been doing it since I was 19, and I was doing it then, and I was taught by somebody who was doing it for 40 years before me. You know, so yeah, the modern hypnosis is a bit, but yeah, what I'm good at, what I'm really good at, is looking at the complex ways that people are doing things and simplifying that, you know, and still getting it to work. And I think that comes from being a stage hypnotist because, as you know yourself, we don't have time to do the long, complicated stuff. So we simplify stuff and we get it down to the we say nitty gritty, down to the basics, you know, and we apply the basics. And actually, people that I get to do that in consultation get better results faster.
Yeah, I like the simplifying part of it.
Yeah,
as long as you don't lose the important stuff.
So long as it works, I don't care.
So long as it works, true.
You know, if somebody, I always start off in a one-to-one situation, even on Skype. I start off by saying, what are you expecting? How do you expect to be hypnotized? And if they say a swinging watch, I reach behind me on the shelf and I get the swinging watch, you know, and I do an eye fixation. Why should I work hard? I'm lazy. And if they've got something on board, I'll just use that. Why, you know, why reinvent the wheel? You know, it's silly. Yeah. And the important thing for the person is they get the result they want.
Of course.
The how is down to the hypnotist. You know, I used to ask people, "What do you think hypnosis is?" You're wrong. So because whatever they think it is, it probably isn't. You know.
So
But yeah,
what is it? Would you say?
As a stage hypnotist, yeah.
What have you
What
done?
is hypnosis?
What have you done most, Jonathan? Is it coaching of people, or is it stage hypnosis?
Oh, good grief. Well, the last 15 years have been pretty much training.
Yeah.
But more training than shows and things like that. But before that, there was at least 20 years of doing 7 shows a week if I could get them. You know.
Wow.
No, I just like the money. You know, if I didn't do a show, I didn't earn anything. So, but no, I love doing it. So it was just a case of, you know, you'd be doing shows at night time, and then I used to do a lot of army bases, what we call junior ranks, which are everything corporals and below. Yeah.
Right.
So these are the guys who drink heavily. These are the girls who want to play hard. You know, as soon as you finish the show, you get out of the place before the fight starts. You know? Not if a fight starts, when the fight starts. And and I used to do a lot of those. And I was saying, if anybody wants to, after the show, you know, I'd say, if anybody wants to stop smoking after the show, come and see me in the room next door. And I'd be hypnotising 12 to 20 people for stop smoking after the show.
But tell me something then, because there's this rumor that people can't be hypnotized as well if they've had a few drinks. What do you say about that?
Complete rubbish. The thing is, they're still drunk, and you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
I remember I was doing it was an amateur football club in Leicester, and a young lad about 21 years of age had just won Footballer of the Year, you know, and it was his big night, and he must have been going for a long time before I even walked on stage, and he come up on stage, and I thought, well, I really can't tell him to leave, you know. I'll take the chance. He'll just fall asleep. And I hypnotised him, and I'm walking past him. Do you know, it takes about 20 minutes to get the vomit out of your nose of your shoe. And it makes the stage really slippy. So you have to watch that. But no, it doesn't matter what mental condition people are in including sleep. They can be hypnotized, they can be taken into that hypnotic condition, but they're still asleep. They are still drunk. They are still high. And any brain impacting drugs, if they're on heavy sedatives, they are still on brain impacting drugs. So the tool that you're trying to use isn't working properly. You know?
Yeah, but the condition is possible to induce. So you don't get the same results as if they weren't, but they can still be hypnotized.
Well, you get exactly the same result. It's just that they're human beings. Yeah? And whatever physical state they're in, they're still in the same physical state. You still get the same result, because the result I'm going for every single time is hypnosis. And that's acceptance of suggestion. It's not anything else. It's not relaxation. I like what Gil Boyne said about eyes, you know, about whether you should hypnotize somebody, whether they would have their eyes closed or open. Most of the time it's closed. But he said that hypnosis is a state of mind, not a state of eyelids. And so, you know, I'm looking for acceptance of suggestion and unquestioning following of the suggestions. Right. Yeah. Even if they're fully conscious, even if the conscious mind is saying, I don't want to do this, if it can't stop the suggestion happening, if you've got somebody's hand stuck to their head and they can't get it off, and you say, why can't you get it off? And they go, I don't know. They're fully conscious. People have got the wrong idea about hypnosis being a state of unconsciousness, being a state, you know, it's a state of communication between the hypnotist and your subconscious mind. So if I've got you hypnotized and you have the capability to imagine your hand being stuck to your head, and you might not, and I can use that, yeah, then it doesn't matter whether you're conscious, fully aware or not. You won't be able to remove your hand from your head. End of story. Yeah?
Love it.
And hypnosis has got absolutely nothing to do with the conscious mind. I ignore the conscious mind. I don't care what it does. Yeah? I've had people doing things that they didn't notice they were doing while they're having a serious conversation with somebody else.
So what are the trickiest things? What are tricky situations that you run into that you could share?
I did a show in a swimming pool once.
How did you provide safety?
No, I did. I turned up. It was an 18th birthday. It was an 18th birthday many years ago, and I was in a lot better shape, and I'm in a wheelchair now. So, but I turned up, and it was a really big, plush house. You know, it was a swimming pool, and it was an 18th birthday, and it was a pool party, and of course, all these young people who are in their swimming costumes and that. So I borrowed a T-shirt and a pair of shorts off the dad who'd organised it all, wrapped my radio mic up in a plastic bag, got in the pool and hypnotised them in the pool. That was a bit tricky, you know, because you didn't want anybody to go under the water and stay there. I started my career in the 1980s in Britain. We had a phenomenon called a working men's club, and basically all the people from a big factory, or they'd be called social clubs, or for coal miners they would call miners' welfare clubs, and it would be the social club where after work they would all go, they would have a drink, they would play darts, dominoes, they would take the kids there at the weekend. There'd be a show on every weekend, you know, on Friday and Saturday. It was a big communal thing. They're sadly gone now, that we're no longer a manufacturing country. They're still there, but like there's only old fogies like me go there. You know, the youngsters tend not to. But if you imagine, you know, I'd be going out on stage and there'd be 400 people in the room, half of which were coal miners who'd been a hole in the ground for the whole week, you know, for 7 hours a day. And they'd be sitting there with their arms folded going, go on then, entertain us. So you learn very quickly audience control. You learn very quickly how to engage people. You know, I'd work pubs where I remember once in Coventry, I was working a stage that was actually beer crates turned upside down with 2 doors on top, because they hadn't got a stage, and I told them I needed a stage, so they raised me up on 2 doors and beer crates, you know. When you've done that, and when you're used to hypnotising people, when there's a one-armed bandit machine, you know, money machine going in the corner, you've got people who, when you're doing a pub, you know, a bar, you get people who had just come out for a drink. They didn't even know you were going to be on. They're not interested in you. They haven't come out to see you. So they're having a chat at the bar. And you can't turn around and say, excuse me, can you shut up? Because they're out for their night, you know. So you've got to learn that no matter what situation you're in, if I want you to be hypnotised, you're going to be damn well hypnotised. And that's my job, yeah? And it's not about the hypnotee, it's about the hypnotist being the hypnotist to the best of their ability, regardless of the situation. Yeah. And that, of course, comes with just a little bit of arrogance and ego. Just a little bit, just not too much.
Well, it's elegantly unarrogant to admit that.
I'm not arrogant. I'm a narcissist.
Oh, that's completely different. More of a natural. Wonderful. So, well,
I always say, you know, you can always tell the difference between somebody who's confident and somebody who's arrogant, because a confident man will turn around and say, I am very, very, very good at what I do, and then prove it. An arrogant man would say, he's not as good as me. Yeah? And yeah, there's quite a few of those in this business.
Yeah, what would a narcissist say?
Oh, a narcissist wouldn't care, they just love themselves. Narcissists wouldn't even notice there was anybody else there, would they?
So tell me something. I mean, you've probably seen a lot of shows as well, and you probably do have some ideas about if people are out there aspiring to do stage hypnosis, what are things in your experience that they might want to avoid?
Becoming a stage hypnotist.
Besides that.
Seriously. I don't know. Nowadays it's a lot more difficult than it was. You know, I don't know what it's like in Sweden, but in the 1990s, in its heyday, if you put the word hypnotist outside the theatre, it would fill. Even if they didn't know who you were, because nobody was on television, nobody was doing it in everywhere, you know. There was 1990, 91, something like that. There was probably about a dozen full-time professional stage hypnotists in the whole of the UK, you know. And I think the population was about 50 million then, you know. So there weren't that many of us, and people didn't see it. And then Paul McKenna did it on television for a couple of seasons, and you started seeing hypnotists going everywhere, and then mad people started to train stage hypnosis to magicians who went and did it everywhere in their acts, you know. And it's different now. It's changed now. I mean, Shelby, the number one thing with being a stage hypnotist is show business. And I think, don't they, Frederick, a lot of people forget that show business is business.
Yeah.
You know? And get to know the business first. Get to understand that it's about luck. Yeah, L-U-C-K. Location, you've got to be in the right place. Understanding why you're there. It's about contacts. Show business is entirely about contacts. Agents, venue owners, newspaper guys, and then having the knowledge that you can actually go out on stage and produce a show. Because you're producing that show, you're directing that show, you're totally in charge of that show. And when things go wrong, and they will, it's your fault.
Yeah. You want to share some go-wrongs with us?
I had one show where a guy fell off the stage and shattered his femur. In 1990, it was me.
Okay. So nobody got sued.
I got 12 people behind me. One word from me, they did everything I asked them to. You'd be surprised what you say when you fall off stage and break your femur. I said, oh, fuck. It took us 2.5 hours to get them apart, but apparently they were enjoying themselves. So, that's the stage hypnotist joke. No, I did actually fall off stage. I slipped on the stage and fell and broke. Yeah. You get things like, you get people that we call pourers, yeah? That's people. Look, hypnosis isn't relaxation, but if you ask 99.9% of people in the Western world anyway, because it's hardly known in the Eastern world, you know, but in the Western world, if you ask them to show you what it looks like when you're hypnotized, they're going to do one of two things. Yeah, they're going to go, or they're going to go. Either way, they've got that pattern for what hypnosis is in their head. Yeah, So when you hypnotize them, if you don't tell them to do anything else, they are very, very likely to go into that state anyway. Yeah. Now, if they've got the pattern in their head that when they're hypnotized, they become really relaxed, we get what we call a pora. And I know Fredrik said this, you hypnotize them, you sit them, you put them on the chair, you hypnotize them, and every muscle goes flaccid. And they just pour off the chair. And you don't know whether to pick them up, whether to wake them up, you don't know what to do. You wake them up, and you say, now, listen, you're gonna maintain a nice, comfortable sitting position, sit down and sleep. And then they pour off the bloody chair again because that's their pattern. And you haven't got time on stage to change that pattern. You can't do it. Actually, you haven't got time to change that sort of pattern when you're doing a one-on-one consultation. So, you know, putting their feet up on a poof or having a recliner. I've got a big recliner that I use, you know, and if they're in a reclining position, if everything goes flaccid anyway, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know?
If you look back, if you were to learn stage hypnosis again, regardless of how you learned it this time, how would you go about it?
Exactly the same way.
Which was?
Find somebody who can do it and ask them how
Yeah.
I was taught by a comedian and a Red Indian knife thrower.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah. We agree.
Yeah. So my defining moment, I was in Jersey in the Channel Isles, and there's a hotel there called Hotel de France, and I was a stage manager, and there was a big comedy show band in Britain at the time. They're not about now. Half of them are dead, but they were called the Grumbleweeds, and the Grumbleweeds were in the lounge, and I knew Jay, the Red Indian knife thrower from Liverpool, for a long time, and I was doing backstage stuff in Jersey. I was filling glasses, pulling pints in a bar with one hand, and I was using the follow spot with the other hand. So, you know, I mean, I was doing two jobs at once because I was stage manager and barman. And I don't know if you had them in Sweden. You probably did. Do you remember there used to be a little electric dog on a lead, yeah, for children, and it used to walk along the floor, sit on it was like electric, sit down, it'd go, and then do a somersault, and then it'd walk again. So Robin had hypnotized his roadie's girlfriend, and he said to it, when I wake you up, when that dog flips over, you're going to think it's a fully grown lion with the mane and everything. So he said, 1, 2, wide awake. She's watching this dog, and it went zzz, sat down, it went yip, yip, poof. We eventually got her out to the 7th floor lift by prizing it open because she was standing there with her finger on the close button, screaming her head off, you know, because, and I said to Robin, I said, how do I do that? You know, he said, ask me at the show tomorrow. So before the show started, I spent about 15, 20 minutes with him in the dressing room. And at the end of the show, I went into the dressing room, I knocked on the door, he said, come. I walked in, I said, right, I've got the barman on the floor, what the do I do now? You know? And that's how I learned hypnosis, literally in probably less than 15 minutes, you know, the basics of how to get somebody in. And then Jay showed me how to watch for, you know, the signs that they were doing, how to test. And then when I started to do stage hypnosis, fortunately for me, in the United Kingdom, you have to be licensed for every public show. And that meant that it became attractive to go and do a hypnotherapy training with Ulf Proudfoot in Scarborough, because if I'd got hypnotherapy, like clinical hypnosis qualifications, I could get a license easier. You know, it looked kosher. You know. By the way, let me those 3 certificates I've got up there, the only certificates I've got. Well, I'm a certified ordained. I'm an ordained minister of the Universal Life Church and a doctor of metaphysics. But we won't go into that. That cost me $50. But for me, it was very simple and very easy. I got it straight away. I just went click, you know. And when I went into the therapeutic side of it, I thought, why are you taking so long to hypnotize people? Why are you taking 25 minutes to hypnotize people? That woman there is a somnambulist. And I actually got into trouble on the course for just sitting opposite somebody when we went into pairs, and I thought, well, this person here has been hypnotized 6 times today, so I just leant forward, clicked my fingers and said, sleep. Why should I work hard? You know? And they were saying, no, you've got to do it that way. Yeah, but I don't need to, you know. Or I'd sit somebody down and say, by the way, man, I tap you on the knee, you can't stand up. And they couldn't. And everybody was gobsmacked. And I'm thinking, I nearly got thrown off the course. It was great on the NLP course because I was allowed to do it there, you know. But, yeah, that was... That was strange. So, I mean, that's me. Do you know? I've got this strange idea. Everybody says it's all about the client. It's not. It's all about the hypnotist. Because I can be a good hypnotist every single client I get, and some of them are great and some of them are bad. But if I'm a brilliant hypnotist every single time I go out there, and I do it, then I have a much higher success rate than the average person who thinks I've got to work at the level of the person in front of me.
This is all so interesting, Jonathan, and it's great to hear about your stories. We had a question about, I mentioned it before, hypnotic symbolism.
Sorry?
Hypnotic symbolism.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the subconscious. The subconscious uses language. You know, let's get this right. There actually isn't such a thing as a subconscious. You know, if I split your head in 2, I've been watching too many Walking Deads and Michonne with a big sword keeps splitting heads in 2. But if I cut your head in 2, nobody can point to the bit of your brain and go, oh, look, there's the subconscious. Yeah, it's a process. It probably is the limbic system, you know, the paleo-mammalian brain that's at the root of the spine. But anyway, take the neurology out of it. But people say that subconscious is an idiot that just does the same thing over and over again. No, the subconscious decides to do that over and over again. Yeah, and the subconscious uses language, it uses the voice. You can have a discussion with the subconscious. Any stage hypnotist knows that you can talk to people while they're fully out, yeah? And they will answer you. And you know that it's the subconscious mind that's answering you, not the conscious, yeah? But it thinks in symbols. It doesn't think in words. The cerebral cortex, the logical, mature part of your process of your brain or your body and everything else, because like we've got cognitive cells everywhere. They found them in all the muscles and everything. But your subconscious mind finds it easier to think in things as symbols. If I say to you house, yeah, if you can see what's going on inside your head, in other words, if you can visualize, not everybody can, but if you can visualize and explain that to me, I say house, you are looking at a house, and you could describe that house to me, yeah, using language. Where the hypnotist conscious gets mixed up is it thinks that because you can describe that house to me and everything, that you're using language and logic, that I've got to get past that conscious mind to. But I know I've got past that conscious mind because I've just said house, and there's, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people all internally looking at a house. So am I. Yeah. And I don't care whether it's your house, whether it's your neighbour's house, whether it's the house you want, whether it's the house you hate. You're looking at a house. Now, I know that all I've got to do is say, right, okay, this is interesting. I do this in symbolism training. Yeah, we've got 6 people. Are they all on mic or are they turned off? Are they all on mute, Ulf?
Most people are muted.
Yeah, most people are muted. They can wave, but we can unmute them also if you want.
Yeah. Can you unmute them all and stay
Okay.
quiet until I ask you?
So we'll
please.
see if there's noise in the background or not. We'll find that out. It's going to be fine. It's 12 people, so unmute.
Now, we might hear a musician, Wolf, but...
Oh, they'll be okay. So we're all unmuted. Do you want to see them
Right,
as well,
great.
all of them?
Everybody close your eyes. Everybody. Close your eyes. I'm going to say one word, and I want you to grab the first image, first symbol that comes into your head. Childhood. Open your eyes. Okay. Now, Ulf, could you ask everybody to tell us?
Yeah, please. Mats Karlsson,
What happened in the head?
what happened to you, Mats?
I saw an apple tree.
Right?
An apple tree in the garden of my.
No, you don't need to go any further. Apple tree, that's fine.
Good. Okay. Fredrik?
I saw, I don't know the English word, gungbräda.
Seesaw.
Perfect. Seesaw. Yeah.
A fence.
A fence. Lena?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you feel?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
It's all right.
Right, now, no, that'll do. That'll do. What the hell has a fence got to do with childhood? I can't make any logical connection with those things. Do you understand that? Yeah? I cannot make any logical connection with that. I can't make logical connections with a lot of those things that were there simply because they are yours. They are your individual symbols. Yeah? Now, the thing is, if those symbols have got something attached to them, like a feeling that you'd rather not have, if we change the symbol, we change the feeling. Because the symbol is only a logical representation to your head. There actually isn't a symbol. What there is a chemical reaction inside cells and neurons inside your head, making a pattern that, you know, but we describe it as a symbol, yeah? And if you get that symbol and you change it for another symbol, the feelings that are attached with that original symbol change and they go away. So what we do in symbolism is we say, right, okay, think of something you don't want or something that you want to achieve. We get suds, which I don't know why in hypnosis people don't use suds all the time. Suds, S-U-D-S, subjective units of disorder or distress. Now I don't know in Sweden, but probably most paramedics now are taught, and nurses and doctors will say, if 10 was the worst pain you'd ever had, where is this pain? Now, because I had a heart operation, I have muscular dystrophy, I've had a lot of operations and that. I've got to tell you now, I'm quite experienced at this. If a paramedic asks you where the pain is, always go for 7 or above, and then you get the morphine. That's worth knowing. But we simply say to somebody, right, if 10's the worst it could be and 0's gone, where is it? Yeah, because that again is a subconscious thing, because it's an imaginative thing. There are no numbers. It's an assessment. Yeah. But if we can see the numbers going down or going up, we know where we are. More importantly, it's a suggestion to their mind. They know where they are. Yeah. And they say, oh, it was a 6 and now it's a 4. Oh, wow, this is working. So we change the symbols. We get the suds coming down to 0. And I've seen this with everything from phobias. I could bring Jane in. Now, you've met Jane, Frederick.
Yeah.
You know this is a true story because she tells it in front of the class. Jane had 35 years of social anxiety disorder, where if she went out into a group of people, she would sit in a corner. She couldn't eat. She couldn't drink. The only way she could go out, for 35 years, the only way she could go out in that situation was to have a good drink before she went out. Yeah. And in 10 minutes over a fish pie in a pub, a busy pub with a lot of noise and that, we did symbolism, attached it to hypnosis, but that's another thing. But we did symbolism with it, and we got rid of 35 years of social anxiety disorder. It's never come back. I mean, Frederick, you've seen Jane.
Yeah, I have.
At a table with 20 people in a class.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a weekend, and being the centre of attention, and not a thing, no problem.
Yeah.
Trouble is, she eats all the dinner now, so I haven't got anything. But so I'm beginning to look like the evil hypnotist. But yeah, that's the thing. With symbols, all that is speaking in the language of the subconscious mind. Yeah. And because we're speaking in the language of the subconscious mind, we don't have to worry about what fancy suggestions we're using. We don't have to worry about regression to cause or anything. I love that. I hate that. I hate regression to cause. I'll tell you what, you can't do it. It's impossible. It's gone. All you are doing is changing the pattern they're running in their head now. You can't go backwards in time. Einstein proved it. To go backwards in time, you've got to go faster than the speed of light. When you go faster than the speed of light, time doesn't exist. So you can't go backwards or forwards in it. So time travel, sadly, because I'm a sci-fi nut, is impossible.
If I remember correctly, you can also use symbolism the other way to get, if you have a goal you want to accomplish, or
right. When we're starting symbolism, the first question is, do you want to deal with an issue, something that you want to get rid of, or do you want to deal with a goal, something that you want to achieve? And if somebody said to me, if they came in and said, you know, oh, I'd really like to get rid of this. A magician said to me, he was doing a lecture at a magic club that I go to, and he said, do you know what? I'd love to get rid of this flying phobia I've got. I said, why? He said, I want to do the cruise ships, but they fly you to the ship, and I can't get there. He said, and it's £1,000 a show. I said, £1,000 a show? He said, yeah. I said, I'll get rid of your phobia. He said, great. How much? I said, £1,000. But he didn't take me up on that. No, so I did symbolism with him just to show off, you know, and like three minutes later. But because I knew what he wanted to achieve, I said, now look, do you want to get rid of an issue like being a scaredy cat and going, oh my God, we're flying? Or do you want to be this really confident person that can just get on a plane and fly out? He said, oh, I want that. Yeah. And if you can turn an issue into a goal, you've already done the job. The rest of it is just confirming it, and the symbolism then is just solidifying that. Yeah. And that's a suggestion. Yeah, because I'm talking to his subconscious mind. You notice how I did it? I didn't say, right, okay, do you want to get rid of the issue where you feel scared, or do you... I'll do this. Fredrik, you've seen me work. You know, yeah. I'll go, do you want to be a scaredy cat and get rid of this fear? Oh my God, I'm flying. Or do you want to be a nice, confident person who's going to just walk on the plane? And if you do that, that in itself is symbolism.
Yeah.
Because you're expressing those emotions. Now, as Fredrik will tell you, when we're on stage, we don't just say you're feeling cold. We say, oh, you're feeling cold and the wind's blowing and you're beginning to shake, and we put all that in our voice. If you do that in a consulting situation, they think you're a genius because it makes them feel what you want them to feel anyway. Even before, you know, I don't know why people still work in trance and relaxation. It's just so old-fashioned.
So we got the question. This is a very elegant way to do it, as you told us now. We got a question here from one of the attendances. How specifically...
Yes, I'm trying not to look. I'm trying not to look.
How, it's in Swedish, anyway. How specifically do you change the symbols?
Okay, you ask them for the symbol, the way it was. Then you ask them for a new symbol, the way it's going to be. And then you say, and this is very important, you say, whatever process you want to use, in whatever way you want to use, change the first symbol for the second symbol. Then you STFU. Shut the fuck up. Sit back and wait. It usually takes about a minute to a minute and a half.
Fredrik, you used this in an exciting way 2 times, I know.
Many times. I don't know.
Yeah, but the guy who was eating the guy who was going to eat that the burger, wasn't that the thing you used then?
The guy who was going to eat
a burger, but he was supposed to refuse to eat a burger because he didn't want to be a vegan, but you were supposed to hypnotize him to be a vegan.
Oh, it's not exactly the same. It's another thing, because this is about changing submodalities. Symbolism is more about the...
No, it's not. It's exactly the same, just different language. You're working it's different. From the conscious. You're working from the conscious through the conscious. Hypnotist.
Yeah,
when I'm hypnotizing somebody, I don't even think about it. I just say to my subconscious, bang them under. Yeah. And it does. It says all the right things in all the right ways, and it just goes for it. It's you're a performer performing. Look, when a great musician's on stage, he isn't thinking about, all he's thinking about is the music and just letting it flow. And if you can get to that state as a hypnotist where you're just letting it flow, where you're just trusting that your subconscious mind knows and understands how to talk to another subconscious mind, you don't need to worry about language. You don't need to worry about submodalities. You know, you don't need to worry about all that crap because they've got one pattern, you change that pattern. Then you say to them, right, how do you feel? Oh, I feel wonderful, great, but what? Oh, well, I still feel a bit, okay. If 10 was the worst you could feel on that and 0, yeah? And you work with them 2 or 3 times, you clear out all the little bits and pieces that might be hanging about. And believe me, you will cure people of all sorts of crap. Now, people say to me, Jonathan, why are you so good at symbolism? It's all I do. I don't need to do anything else. I do not need to do anything else. I don't sit in front of somebody and think, oh, he's analytical, I'll have to hypnotize him this way. I'll say to them, how do you expect to be hypnotized? And if they say a swinging watch, I just reach behind me, I'll grab my watch, and I say, right, just watch the watch. Yeah? It's not my job to train them about what I do. It's my job to bang them under and tell them to stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
Then to give them the tools to stop it. Yeah.
Are you letting them do, I mean, what basically, it's kind of a clean hypnosis, like kind of like clean language, but clean hypnosis. You're telling them what to do, and you're not worrying about how they do it.
No, please don't do that. Sometimes I will feel that they need a good conversation, that they need talking to, that we need to talk to the subconscious mind, that we need to ask it to come on our side. And we say, you know, sometimes you need to say to the subconscious mind, by the way, you do know that you live inside Kevin, don't you? And it will say, yes. Yeah, well, if Kevin's screwed up, mate, you're living in a nasty place. Do you want to live in a great place? Yeah. Okay, and we could do that. We could do that with Bob Burns Swan. We could do that with IMRs. We could do that with direct voice. You know, we can say, right, okay, and I do it a lot on Skype. I say, right, okay, subconscious, I am giving you full control of this person's vocal cords. Talk to me, say hello. And sometimes it's a totally different tone. It's not every time, you know. I mean, it's not scary, wary, but it's no cleaner language. It's no more complicated language than the conversation I'm having with you now.
Yeah, I didn't mean it was a cleaner language. I meant it's clean in the same way, metaphorically clean, because you're not getting into what they're supposed to do. You're just telling them to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was more of a metaphor for me. I was just thinking out loud.
Look, you induce hypnosis. Yeah, you test them, you prove hypnosis to them, you change their symbols, you consolidate that in some way, you give them an experience so that they remember they've been hypnotized and they know they've been hypnotized, and then you bring them out of it in such a way as that they're not going, oh yeah, actually, oh thank you, yeah, that was... I want people walking down the street saying, bloody hell, I feel, well, hey, go and see this guy. Yeah. So it's also about the hypnotist's attitude. It's about the hypnotist's approach. It's about, you know, I always say on my courses, Frederick knows this, I always say on my courses, look, oh no, you did a stage hypno, didn't you? So I always say I only do advanced hypnotism now. We do it mostly. This is a pitch, folks. You can go and make a coffee. We do it mostly on video, and then at the end of the video, if you want certified, you have to spend 20 or 30 minutes with me and prove to me that you can do it. Yeah. And I usually ask for people to bring somebody else in that they can hypnotize, you know, so that have a look. But yeah, it's not, clean's the wrong word, you know, and it's the wrong metaphor to think of. It's direct. Yeah. It's absolutely direct. I'm talking to the subconscious mind. I'm talking to your subconscious minds now. Yeah. That's why you've got that strange feeling that somebody is behind you, because I'm talking to you. I worked before, that's all right. So it's about your approach, and your approach should fit you, not the client. Yeah. And if you are a quiet, caring, empathetic person, then you should do it quietly and empathetic, but still directly. Yeah. Sadly, I'm not that person. You know, I really do bang people under and tell them to stop it. I really do. I'm here in your face. I am the hypnotist, and I know that. you know. But I have to be that because I am the hypnotist, and when people do pay my extortionate fees to come and see me or see me on Skype, they expect me to be the hypnotist. So, and I happen to be very good at being the hypnotist because that's who I am anyway. So it's not so much clean language. I'll tell you what it is. It's my language. Yeah. And it's got nothing to do with the client.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Svengali system?
Svengali. Who thinks they know who Svengali was? Okay, Svengali in the book Trilby, which you should read by George de Maria, is the most boring book you are ever likely to read ever by anybody. It's actually a love story between English student and a young Irish-French girl of dubious morals, shall we say? And Svengali was a Jewish music teacher. Now, de Maria was completely anti-Semitic, so he painted him as this evil, you know, wretched thing. But what people don't forget and don't realize is that in the story, what happens is Svengali takes a girl who can't sing, can't even hold the correct tone, the correct note, mesmerizes her. They didn't have a hypnosis in those days. He mesmerizes her, puts her into a trance, turns her into an operatic diva, and until the day he dies, she's an operatic diva, loved and adored by everybody in France. And the reason he's painted as evil is because Michael, this student who's in love with this girl, she won't have anything to do with him anymore. Yeah? So Svengali was painted as being, you know, as having total mind control over this girl, when in actual fact, you read the story, she was lovely. She was the toast of France. You know, she loved it. But anyway, the important thing is that Svengali could do something that strong and that powerful with somebody's behaviours and beliefs. By the way, I don't think you can do that. If, as any music teacher will tell you, if somebody can't hear, we've got a musician here, if somebody can't hear the right notes and the right tone, you cannot give them that ability. Yeah? We've done it on stage, haven't we, Frederick? We've got somebody who can't sing. I asked for somebody who really can't sing. You, yeah. And you hypnotise them and you say, when I wake you this time, you are going to be the world's greatest operatic diva. You're going to be able to sing Nessun Dorma, and it's going to sound beautiful and wonderful and wide awake. And they go, and they think they're doing it great. The audience are rolling on the floor laughing because they know they're not. You can't give somebody an ability they don't have. Somebody a skill they don't have, but not an ability. Okay? And I defy anybody to prove me wrong. But
what is a skill you could give somebody that they don't have?
Well, anything that can be learned. Anything that can be learned. You can say to somebody who's never played a guitar that they can learn to play the guitar very, very quickly, and then you can show them, I don't know, an E sharp minor F or whatever, you know, something really, really, you could tell me I could play that bloody ukulele, all I can do is keep it in tune. But you can impose that skill, you can train them to learn that skill. Yeah. So, but it's sort of like right. Let me tell you what I think hypnosis does. Hypnosis changes a problem pattern of belief, behavior, and response that looks like that and is unproductive into a result pattern that looks like that and is more productive. Now, if somebody comes to you with eczema, with a skin problem, with a skin disease, hypnosis cannot cure that. But a lot of eczema, a lot of skin problems are actually caused by stress and by the wrong chemicals in the system and in the head. And if you create a condition where they think that the symptoms are gone, then that chemistry changes because you've changed their belief. And most of the time, if it's stress-induced, it will go away. Yeah? If it's psychosomatic, it will go away. But I'll tell you what, there's plenty of people out there with eczema who've been to hypnotists, acupuncturists, and God knows what else. They just happen to have bad skin. Yeah? The organ just works that way. Yeah?
What about blisters?
What about blisters? Oh, you're not going to tell me that you've seen a hypnotic blister come and go.
No, but I have read about experiments where.
Oh, you've read about it? I know everybody's read about it. I've never met the person who's actually seen it with their eyes, apart from on Facebook. Then there's lots. Okay. Until you say, "Show me the video." I've got a video on my YouTube channel, which is John Chase, by the way. I've got a YouTube of me hypnotising Reg Blackwood, who's another stage hypnotist. And I hypnotised him and turned his brown eyes blue. Now that has been hit. That video has been hit more times than any of my other videos. My most popular video, nearly 500,000 views, is how to hypnotise somebody who's not willing to be hypnotised. But and I did it silently as well. I didn't say a word. But you know, it's the thing with that video. It says it's an experiment in suggestion, which it is. It's an experiment in suggestion because, of course, all it is me messing about with Final Cut Pro and changing the thing. It was the 1st of April, and in England, the 1st of April is April Fool's Day.
Yeah, we have this.
April Fool's, it was a con, and I said it was an experiment in it is. The suggestion being that you can do that. Yeah? And if you can do that, please video it and show me. Yeah? I mean, I've heard about all these miraculous things that people do with hypnosis. There's a shaman who could put a sword all the way through their stomach. Yeah? And I've actually seen that done. Do you know how that's done? They start off very young with a needle. And they go through the stomach with a very fine needle. And they go through every day for about 2 months, and they create a tunnel of scar tissue. Then they use a larger needle and they go through. Then they use a larger needle and they go through. By the time that they're in their 30s, they can put a whole sword through. And, you know, people go, "Oh, that's wonderful and marvellous." Don't talk stupid. Who's got an earring? We do that stuff all the time, but because it's small, it doesn't look impressive. Yeah.
Actually, when I asked about.
By the way, just as a caveat, an awful lot of disease, of physical illness, is psychosomatic. Yeah. And even when it isn't, it's worsened by the emotional state it puts people in. So I don't think we can make, I'll think, you can't make a broken bone heal faster, but you can reduce the pain levels, you can reduce the stress levels, which means that the muscles around the bone aren't so tight, which allows the blood to flow better. And the bone heals in the 10 days that it would take instead of the 6 weeks that with the stress and the pressure, it would take a lot longer. Yeah? Do you understand me?
Yeah? Absolutely.
Actually, when I asked about Svengali, I meant the Svengali system.
Oh, right. No, sorry. I completely went off on one there, didn't I? I thought you meant the person who didn't exist. The Svengali system, it's my tongue-in-cheek way of saying covert and conversational hypnosis. My book, which is on display somewhere, there. My book, How to Make Friends with Yourself and Influence People, is based on the Svengali system. It's actually the transcript from a 5-day course that I ran before YouTube and before video and before Zoom, you know, where the only way to do it is on a telephone, so that's audio. I've since added a lot of videos and stuff. But basically, rather than a system, think that it's a systematic way of talking to the subconscious mind. I like to manipulate people around me to feel good, because if they feel good, you know, I'm in a lot nicer place. So, and I don't like to see people feeling bad. So I like to manipulate people. I'm disabled, as you know. I have a disability. I'm not disabled, but I have a disability. I'm in a wheelchair. It's a useful tool to be able to get people to do things and then think, why did I do that? You know, without having to ask for help. Yeah. So over the years, like ever since I was a child, I've been manipulating people and doing that. What the Svengali system is that it's a way of, first of all, finding out what your subconscious mind wants and how it works, you know, because we forget that, don't we? You know, what trainer ever says, right, it's about your subconscious mind first before we get to the clients, you know? But it's about finding out what your subconscious mind wants. It's about finding out how it works. Then it's just a case of normal influence tools, but very, very simplified and very direct tools that you can use, so that, you know, when you ask for an extra helping of food in a restaurant, you actually get it, you know. And it's about intention. It's about, if I go out for a meal, I go out with two intentions. Number one, I go out to fill my stomach with as much nice food as possible, because I'm just a pig. And number two, I go out with the intention of making the staff of that restaurant feel really great. I want to be the best customer they've ever had. So I use rapport building skills. I use direct suggestions. I joke with them. Help, you know me, Fredrik. I'll get a magic trick out and show them a magic trick. But I go out to make them feel good, because then I know that whatever I ask for in that restaurant, I'm going to get. You know.
Yeah.
And I learnt that off an old friend of mine who used to go into the Indian restaurant when we went out. And I mean, I'm talking when we were about 15, 16, illegally drinking and playing snooker all night, you know. And we'd go into the Indian restaurant and he would do a bit of fire eating for them with candles and stuff like that. And they'd give him a dinner. And I thought, that's useful.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing what I know about suggestion, knowing what I know about simplification, knowing that it's not about trance state. It's about fascination, but it's not about trance state. It's about those two parts of you. The conscious is always awake and aware. The subconscious is always in trance, because that's what we mean when we say we're putting somebody into a trance. We're just making them entirely subconscious. But because I know your subconscious is always in trance, and I only talk to the subconscious because I'm not interested in conscious. I don't care, you know. Have you ever noticed when you wake people up after a show, you say, how do you feel? Oh, great, fabulous. Did you know you did that? And they go, no. Yeah. That's the conscious mind going, I can't explain that. And if I can't explain it, I'm going to deny I even remember it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So, and the Svengali system is a way of using direct suggestion. NLP, if you like, because, you know, if you talk to Richard, he'll tell you straight that hypnosis without trance. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's my way of doing that. The builds up to a situation where you're always the hypnotist, you're always on. You're never off, yeah?
Yeah.
And it helps in so many situations, you know? The only time I switch off is when I'm sitting with Jane, and then I switch off, because, you know, but if I'm in this situation, I'm being the hypnotist. You know I am. You felt the suggestions, you know what's happening, you know? You know that you can feel that person behind you. It's you know, and I'm saying that because it's working with a couple of three. Ulf just looked over his shoulder, but you know, I know that that's pretty much a pattern in most human beings' minds, that somebody's following them. You know, you know when you're walking through the house on a very dark night, you know. And you think you're on your own. Tonight, when you're walking to bed and you've turned the lights out, you'll be going, oh, shit. Now, I know these things take place. I know these patterns are in there. I'm just utilising them. And the Svengali system is a way of doing that in a slightly more formal way, so that you think about it at first until it just becomes a habit. Hell, we're hypnotists. All we're doing is changing habits of thought. That's all we can do. Yeah?
True.
So that's basically what the Svengali system is that. But we are going to be using Patreon. There's some exciting news. We are going to be using Patreon to let people decide what level of Svengali they want to come in at. And it's sort of going to be a membership thing. So which will make it, I suppose, if you're there for 5 years, it won't make it cheaper, but it means that once a month, you know, we'll be developing tools, we'll be talking to people and saying, well, what reaction have you got? Oh, right, okay, if you do that, then this might happen. And that, you know, because we're getting slightly out of the formal way of training now, you know, so, and making it more loose, or as Ulf would say, more clean.
More clean. You mentioned the YouTube clip where you do hypnotizing somebody who doesn't want to be hypnotized, and you do it without words. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. You've got to understand. You've got to understand the situation here. It was on a course. Yeah. Who goes to do a course about hypnosis who's not convinced that there's such a thing?
Yeah.
Why on earth would you do that? Yeah. You don't go out into a Christian church to be convinced there's a Christ. You're in the church. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in Christ and you're in the church, you won't believe in it anyway. Yeah. Right. So, but if you say to somebody, do you want to be hypnotized? And they say no, they're halfway there. Because what they're saying to you is, I believe. Yeah? Because to deny that you want to be hypnotized, you have to accept in the first place that there's such a thing as hypnosis. And if you believe there's a hypnosis, I'm a hypnotist, I can take you there. Guaranteed. Yeah? As far as the silent induction's concerned, if you know the person that you're talking to knows you're a hypnotist and they have an idea that hypnosis is going to happen and they're imagining what that would feel like, and you do that by saying, Fredrik, show me what you would look like if you were hypnotized. Show me. Right, okay, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Now, I've already took you there. I had to say open your eyes twice. And we haven't gone through any formal, you know.
Yeah.
I have hypnotized you in class, so I know I can, yeah, which is an advantage for me. But because you know I'm the hypnotist and I know I'm the hypnotist, if I just look at you for long enough, I'm just waiting for you to go into that state. You'll go.
Yeah.
I actually don't have to do anything because you've already convinced yourself you're going to go. Yeah?
Yeah.
When we're on stage, about 20% of the people in the audience will go like that. So, as you know, we use our introduction, we use our pre-stage speech and everything to get those and just those people up on stage. Yeah, and then we still test because there'll be a couple that on that buff that believe it. And we don't care. So maybe a stage hypnotist has got 100% success rate with the people who come up on stage, but there's still a theatre full of people that he hasn't hypnotised, but we don't count those. So if you've got 200 people in the audience, you've got 20 people on stage hypnotised, you've only hit a fifth, yeah. But you don't count the 80% that didn't come. Yeah.
Sure.
When you're in a one-to-one situation and people have made the decision after thinking about it for quite some time, because in your country and in my country, you know, we are probably going to be the last thing that people come to. And the reason for that is they don't have to pay for a doctor. Yeah. They don't have to pay for their health, so they'll go and get it free. Yeah. They go and get it free, but they've got to pay for your services. So they're making two decisions. Number one, they're making the decision about their health and about whether they can get well and whether they can achieve what they want to. And number two, they're making a decision that, can I afford it? Am I going to pay for it? Yeah. If they've made both of those decisions and they are sitting opposite you in your consulting room, they're already bloody hypnotized. They've already made the choice. What you do now is entirely up to you. I always say, look, you need to know 5 inductions, yeah, and 2 methods of getting the result. And you need to be damn good at those 5 inductions, those 2 methods of result. So if the one induction doesn't work, you can try the next one. If that doesn't work, you can try the next one, yeah? Reg Blackwood from New Zealand, he's great. He's got 5 inductions and he uses all of them. He'll use the first one, and even if that puts them under, he'll wake them up and he'll use the second one. And then he'll use the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. Do you think you can tell me why? Practice.
Ah, right.
He's already got somebody he can hypnotise. Let's practice my inductions and get them all, you know? How else are you going to practice? On stage, we can practice all the time. On stage, it's wonderful because we can experiment. We can do the stuff that you can't do when it's a one-to-one because we're, you know, we're more flexible that way. But then you just need 1 or 2 methods. The 2 methods I use is symbolism and the move it technique. I'll show you the move it technique.
Please.
Yeah, I'll do it with you. Right? Think of something you would like. I know you're looking at the chat. Leave that for a minute.
Yeah.
Think of something you would like to get rid of in your life or like to achieve. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Achieve.
Achieve. Okay. Have a look inside your body for what's stopping you achieving. Yeah?
One more time. Come again.
Have a look inside your body. Yeah? Anywhere from the top of your head to the tips of your toes.
Yeah.
For what is stopping you achieving what you want to achieve. Yeah? It'll just be a feeling, but What shape is it?
It's kind of oval shape.
Oval, kind of oval shape.
Three-dimensional oval.
Okay. Yeah, what color is it?
Red.
Where is it?
It's like...
Yeah, okay. Put your hand on it.
Okay, you can see me.
Yeah. Put your hand on it. Now move it somewhere in your body where it's less. Where it's smaller and a different color. Okay. Great. Yeah, no, fabulous. Now move it up to your left shoulder.
Shall I put my hand on it?
Yeah, yeah. And it's even smaller now, isn't it? It's less bright, less everything. Yeah. Put it into your left elbow. Yeah. Really small now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Put it into the palm of your left hand. Close your hand. Right. Squeeze it really small. Open your hand. Look at it. What shape is it now?
It's the same shape, but it's a lot smaller.
Lot smaller. Color?
Green.
Green. Throw it away. You don't need it.
Great.
You can do that with pain. You can do that with pain. You can do that with emotional states. Yeah. But if you notice, although I got you wanted to achieve something, I went back and said, what's stopping you? Because this only works if you... Now, what's happened here? Try and find the feeling that you had. Try and find it.
It's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore. I'll tell you why it's not there anymore. Because we turned it into a symbol.
Yeah.
But this time we used physicality. We turned it into a real thing. We imagined it as a real thing. Yeah. That's what happens when you're under stress and you get a pain in your shoulder. It's a real thing. Your mind turns it into a real thing. So we moved it around the body. We put it out. We put it there. We threw it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Cool.
Is that hypnosis? Yes. Is it trance? No. But it's fascination. How do I know you were hypnotized? Because I told you to look the shape of it and you gave me the shape. You accept it. There wasn't any bloody shape.
True.
There's nothing. There's no colour. There's not a thing in anywhere. Yeah? True. You accepted the suggestion and unquestioningly did it. And you consciously couldn't stop doing it, could you? No. You didn't want to. How many people have you woke up after hypnosis on stage or even and they say, oh, I knew I was hypnotized, but I just didn't want to come out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what would happen in a consulting situation? What I would do with you now, I would actually take you into that closed-eyed state that you told me you thought was hypnosis. So I'd take you into your special place. I'll make it all great. Yeah. Make you feel wonderful and wake you up. That takes about 2 minutes. Yeah. And I would make sure that you knew you'd been hypnotized, because what stops hypnosis working is simply when they get out of your office, if they think they haven't been hypnotized, they'll talk themselves out of it before they get to their car. Yeah?
Jonathan, there is a question coming up in the chat in Swedish, but we thought we'd get...
Yeah, I don't do Swedish.
Yeah, not yet. But it's a skill, so you can acquire it. So, Richard?
Don't want to?
No.
Sorry, I'm not...
Very few people who speak it. But Richard has a question. So, Richard, please, can you unmute yourself, or do you want me to unmute you? There, you're unmuted, I think.
Yeah. I'm thinking about... Hi, Jonathan. I'm thinking about the Milton model and the subliminal messages. I want to practice it covertly so no one can know that I'm actually practicing on them actively. So that I can get the training without having a lot of people getting suspicious around me.
Why do you want to do that?
Because I feel that I don't get enough practice, and that
Okay, what's your intention? Do you want them to feel good? Do you want them to smile? You know, do you want to pick young ladies up and get them to come to bed with you, or young men, or whatever? You know,
No.
What's your intention of using a covert system?
Because I feel like I need to get more practice so I can use it in medical situations if they feel in pain or something. So
okay. If they're feeling pain and you're in a medical situation, you don't need to use covert, do you?
Not really.
No. We use covert because we want to manipulate the people around us to feel the way we want them to. Be honest about it. Yeah?
All right.
Totally honest about it. And instead of thinking, oh, I've got to be covert because otherwise they'll suspect. I have asked people, 20 people in the room in Great Britain who are all into hypnosis and self-development and that, who Tony Robbins is, and only half of them know. Yeah? Right. When you're in a social situation with 5 or 6 people, and you're the only hypnotist, and you're the only one that knows you're doing hypnosis, and they don't know you're a hypnotist, and they don't know you're doing hypnosis, just do it, my friend. Don't be covert, be overt. Yeah?
So I should be...
Be so overt, it becomes covert. Yeah? Don't do the Ledowski thing of random patterns and trying to get them up and down. And just say, can I ask you a question? Yeah. How does it feel when you're happy? You see them start to smile. You touch the end of your nose. Right, okay. How does it feel when you're sad? Notice what I'm doing here. How does it feel when you're sad? That's crap, that, isn't it? But, see? Works every time.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah? If you go into a situation thinking, oh, I'm being covert, you get caught because you're doing something that's not natural to you.
I see.
You see that? Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about that people have anchors, negative anchors about hypnotists as being evil or manipulative.
Yeah. Have you seen my profile picture on Facebook?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't evil
hypnotist. You know, I go into social situations and people say, what do you do, John? I'll say, oh, I'm a hypnotist. Have you got a baby to eat or anything like that? Not roast, fried. I don't. You know? Everybody will do what you're doing. They will laugh. So I have anchored humour and that light, happy feed to hypnosis straight away. Yeah?
So you're collapsing those anchors immediately then?
Yeah, basically. I'm shoving them to one side. I'm getting rid of them. I know they're there, so I don't want them. It's counterproductive to me, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Darren Brown, if you don't know Darren Brown, he's a fantastic showman, mentalist, and he does some hypnosis. And he walks out on stage and he'll say to 2,000 people in the theatre, nobody is going to be hypnotized tonight. And all the somnambulists in the audience are going, hypnotized. They're already... People have said to me, what's the most powerful hypnosis? You can do it covertly by saying, I saw a hypnotist the other day. It was absolutely amazing. And then don't say anything else for 5 minutes and then do what you're going to do. Yeah?
I see.
Because the people who are somnambulistic, the people who are easy to hypnotize, will have that pattern running in their head for hours afterwards, that just by saying hypnosis, hypnotist. Yeah?
I see.
And if they go, whoa, hypnotist, don't look in his eyes, which is probably my second book, but don't look in his eyes, you know you've got that person anyway, because they've just told you they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop being covert. Be overt in yourself. Just don't tell people what you're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Jonathan, we have one more question.
Yeah, I've got to say this. I'm watching your body language now. Your body language has gone from down here to up here. Wow. Yeah, I can do that. I can be a hypnotist and nobody has to know. Yeah. And nobody will know. I'll tell you what, there's probably hypnotherapists who wouldn't see a hypnotist working from 1,000,000 miles away. They just wouldn't get it. You know?
Thanks, Jonathan. Good answer. Lovely to see. We have one more question, and we're running towards the outcome of this. So, Jack, you had a question you wanted to ask?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hi, Jack.
Hello, Jonathan.
I can't see your little tiny picture in the car. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it's okay. Do you hear me too?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my question is: you are very expressive, almost like an actor when you talk, and you said something about that in the middle before. That it's important to strengthen what you say. To get better effect, like if you're happy or you don't like that. I mean, you strengthen what you do.
If that's your natural thing to do anyway. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the question. If you're not natural with that, you said that you're gonna have to do. You're better off doing your style. But what is the most effective way? Like if you use words and language in a certain way, and how you pronounce them.
Your way. Your way. Just say to your subconscious mind, bang that person under. Hypnotize that person. Get that person to scratch their nose. And then just watch what your subconscious mind does. Yeah?
Yeah.
Look. People are in a situation where they are doing exactly, they're acting subconsciously, even though consciously they may not want to, yeah? Even though consciously they know that what they're doing could ultimately be harmful for themselves or other people. Even though consciously they're aware that there is a better choice, but they just don't seem to be able to make it. And that's because their subconscious process is immensely powerful in communicating with the conscious. And you know, there's this whole theory that the conscious is there to protect the subconscious. It's the other way around. The conscious is there to protect the world from your subconscious. Yeah? You, my friend, as a hypnotist, have a subconscious. Oh, whoopee-woo. That means your conscious will turn off and just let it. I go into a situation, there's a video on my YouTube channel, John Chase, where I hypnotize 8 people using a different induction on every single one, and I deepen them, 10 down to 1, I deepen them, and I do it in less than 8 minutes, the whole thing. I didn't even know I was going to do that till I got on stage, and I thought, I rolled up to the first guy and I thought, oh, I'll do a stiff arm with him. Oh, the next guy, the girl sitting next to him, I'll do an arm and eye closure with her, you know, and I just went through. My subconscious mind said it wanted to do that, and I just let my subconscious mind play. Yeah, I trust it, and my imagination works fantastically well when I'm in that situation. Yeah. So let your subconscious mind do things. Don't worry about consciously language and stuff like that, because you are affecting and targeting the subconscious mind, not their conscious. Yeah.
Correct answer.
Fredrik will tell you the first thing that happens on one of my courses is I bang everybody under and tell them they're going to remember everything. Don't I, Fredrik?
Yeah.
The whole class.
Yeah.
Yeah? I've got a program online on video called Hypnosis Installed. Now, Hypnosis Installed is, as far as I'm aware, it's the only video system that uses hypnosis to teach hypnosis. So Tim Box, my partner in crime on it, he came up to me and he said, I want you to make a hypnotic video that teaches people. I said, you're right, great, yeah. I don't know who could shoot that. He says, I do, because he used to be in a band, he used to be a punk rocker. And he said, the guy who shot all our music videos, Jules, he's very, very good. And that whole video, it's almost an hour long, and all you've got to do is watch it. You watch it 5 times, you'll be able to do all the inductions on it, and it shows you an induction being done in 5 different ways by 5 different hypnotists. Then it moves to the next induction, and you see that done. Then you see that everybody's doing it their own way. But I tell you what, nearly every single one of them was hypnotized while they were doing the hypnosis, because they all think the same way. My subconscious mind knows better than my conscious how to get people in. Yeah. Sometimes when you're in that situation and you're doing hypnosis, you should really. I always set an alarm on my phone, because I don't know how long this thing's. I just said, right, they're talking about hypnosis, you go for it. Yeah, you answer all the questions, sod it. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know unless I do this. Hang on. 1 hour and 47 minutes. I didn't know that until I looked. Yeah. I don't care, because my subconscious mind's just in flow, and I just let it flow. When I'm working with somebody, I just let my subconscious mind, everything that I need to know is in there. I trust it 100%, because for 40 years it kept me smoking to the point where I had a quadruple heart bypass. That's how good it is. Yeah, and I trust it 100%. Because when I came out of the operation, it looked down on my chest, it said, sod that, I'm not doing that again. I've never wanted a cigarette since. Yeah? Although I must tell you, that is a drastic way of stopping. But trust your subconscious. Be the hypnotist. Yeah? I know you've heard people like Anthony Jacquin. Anthony Jacquin's big on being the hypnotist. I taught him that in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have it in a book as well.
Be the hypnotist. I know I'm the hypnotist. I know I'm going to get hypnosis. And like in a covert situation, go into the room and say, I know I'm going to get hypnosis with somebody. I just don't know who yet. Yeah. When somebody comes to me one-on-one, I know I'm going to get hypnosis, because I know when hypnosis happens is when my subconscious and their subconscious are connected, and they're doing stuff that consciously that they're not really involved in. Yeah. Now, Fredrik, when you were doing the movie, were you consciously involved? Were you thinking, oh, how does this work, or why? No, you just went into the imagery. You went into the thing. You went inside yourself for a start off. The first thing I told you to do was look inside yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked me to talk to them about I think there's a three word induction. I said, you only need a 2-word induction. Do you know what that is? Just imagine. Our conscious can't do that.
True.
Yeah. End of story. Just Just imagine what it's like to feel really, really happy, Fredrik. Just imagine that. Yeah?
Pardon, imagine.
Imagine what it was like to feel really, really happy. Yeah? Even if you're sad, you can imagine that. Now look at him. Look at him. His eyes are wrinkled. His face is great. He's nearly laughing. Look, he can't stop himself. Yeah? Now imagine what it feels like to feel really sad. I mean, really sad. Yeah? Really, really sad. You've just lost somebody, for Christ's sake, you know? I mean, yeah, okay. But now, remember what it feels like to be happy.
We're getting a question here.
If you notice, I'm physically enabling the... I'm doing what Tom Vincini calls spatial awareness, yeah? And this is really good for the... Sorry, I've forgotten your name. For the covert stuff as well, young man. Yeah, is I'm saying, imagine what it feels like when you're really happy. What's happening to my hand? Up, 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 flowing. Yeah. Now imagine what it feels like when you're really sad. And I'm bringing it down. Yeah. And if you notice, although he doesn't know he's doing it, Fredrik is actually following. See his mouth going up? Now see it going down. He's trying not to. Really trying not to. Yeah? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now up. Up, up, up. We want you up. We want you happy. Now you can do that with somebody and say, I've learned this new thing, and just don't say it's hypnosis and it's hypnosis. But you're so covert about it, nobody knows you're doing it. Because they go, oh my God, nobody would have the guts to do that. Nobody would dare to be that, you know?
That's one. Jonathan, we have one more question, and I think it's a good one.
I hope so, because my jacket potatoes are cooking in the oven. They'll be...
Exactly. I think you're going to like it. What do we need to do to see those induction movies?
Oh, right. Make a note if you can, or put it. I'll put it in the... Let me put my proper glasses on.
Are they on your website? Do we pay to see them? Are they? How does it work?
Right. Okay. This one, the inductions. There's loads of inductions on here.
You can mail it to me after, and we can mail it to everybody.
Oh, okay. The YouTube videos obviously are free. There's a couple of hundred on there. Now there's 110 on there. Half of them are adverts that I just haven't bothered to take off. Some of them are me just talking, and there's some hypnosis videos on there. There is the show that I did at the inaugural Hypno Arts, Hypno Thoughts convention in Las Vegas. That's on Vimeo. Hypnosis Installed is on Vimeo, the full program. As I said, we're just bringing out a new thing about the Svengali system, which is very useful if you want to do the covert stuff. Not cheap, but very useful. Actually, the way we're going to be doing it through Patreon, it'll be whatever you want to pay for it. But, and Hypnosis, which has got symbolism and meridian energy. That's on Vimeo. So pretty much all of those are on either jonathanchase.com or the Academy of Hypnotic Arts.co.uk.com.
Why don't you, I mean, we need to round it up, and you have stuff going as well, but why don't you send us a mail, me and Fredrik, either one, and we will transfer, I mean, people are curious here, so, you know, what are your trainings, what are your courses, what are you doing? Feel free to, you know, just be blatant, and we're happy to take it and look at it, because that's why we're here. We've heard you and we've seen you, so I think that's fine.
Oh, I'm blatant, trust me.
Be blatant. Be the blatant. That's fine.
Trust me. I mean, you can look me up. You can look me up on Amazon. Unfortunately, none of my books are in Swedish, but I do have one in German. If anybody...
excellent. So we're not too good at German, but never mind. Some of us might be.
No, the Germans aren't very good at Swedish either. Either of you.
Right.
You
Yeah,
are
I know.
way superior in English than the Germans, believe me.
It's a mystery. So I think if nobody else has any questions right now, I think it's the time to round it off. And we're just extremely
Let's
thankful.
take it to the 2 hours, 6 minutes. Who's got a question for me?
Good, excellent. Thank you for that.
Oh, come on, you must have a question or something.
Yeah, who has a question? Oh, well, do you have a question?
Yeah, that is.
Yes, Jack.
No, I don't really have a question. I'm working quite a lot with symbols already, and I think that's very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Simplify it and never, ever, ever impose the symbol. Yeah?
What do you mean impose? What's that?
Right. By impose, there is a runoff method, Jeff Stevens, after I taught him, there's a runoff method where he says things like, you know, he picks the symbol, he picks the metaphor, and never ask what their symbol is. This is really important. Never ever ask what their symbol is, because if they've got to explain it to you, they will change it. Yeah, because they have to consciously qualify it to explain it to you. So it's much better to allow the whole process to go on inside their head. So I'll say, now whatever that symbol is, afterwards they can tell me, but whatever that symbol is, just hold that in your mind. And then I go to the second symbol and get the symbol for, and I will say the exact opposite of how you're feeling now. Now, I don't even know what that exact opposite means to them, how it feels to them. Very specific. So I'm being really unspecific.
So let's say, for example,
them
can you hear
to
me?
choose everything. Sorry?
You hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, that they pick that you work with symbols in a different way than I do, but it's interesting. Let's say, for example, if they choose like a house as the first symbol of the problem, and let's say that they have like a leaf or whatever, that is the positive symbol, then you turn like, they're supposed to turn the house into a leaf, or should it be like?
No, I don't even know.
Yeah, I know, even if you don't know, that like, is that what's happening?
Yeah, what I do is I say, take the first symbol and change it for the second symbol.
Just change, is like just switch place, or do you mean
Just
like
change it? Just change it.
Just like
the actual
burn down
word,
the house?
yeah, I get you. The actual wording is this: using whatever process it takes.
Yeah.
Use the first symbol for the second.
So like it turns into the other symbol.
I don't know. People have said that one melted into the other one grew big and took it over.
Yeah.
No, the other one exploded and the other one grew. But that afterwards, that is the conscious, cognitive, cerebral cortex telling the story of what happened, and that isn't what happened, because all you've done is you've changed the neuron connection in the head to you've just changed that. So, and because I'm the hypnotist, their conscious mind can talk to me all night long and I don't even listen. I don't care. If they say that's what happened, that's what happened. Yeah? But because I'm allowing them to choose what happens, it's all organic inside them. Yeah? Which means I have to work a lot less hard. Because I don't have to think of the right metaphor, because that's what they're actually doing. They're doing the metaphor.
And if they like ask you for help in the process, if like, I don't know how to do this, like, then what you do?
I don't know. It's never happened.
All right. Yeah.
It's never happened. What happens sometimes is they'll say, I can't see a symbol, but beforehand I explain to them that they might notice that a symbol is visual. You know, it's an image. It could be a sound. It could be a feeling. It could be like a touch. It could be a taste. It could be a smell.
All right. Yeah.
It could be a word, because words are only symbols, you know. I mean, I look down there, there's lots of Swedish. If I knew what those symbols were, I could read them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So I accept anything that comes into their head. So then even if they're not visualizing, if somebody says to me, I've got nothing, nothing is a word, it's a symbol of what's inside the head. So I'll say, right, take that nothing and hold it in your
Good.
Yeah? Because I'm not listening to the conscious. I'm not listening to the way the conscious is explaining things, because the conscious has got nothing to do with the situation. When it comes to hypnosis, absolutely nothing. Because it just gets in the way. Yeah? And I'm only interested in the subconscious because I'm a hypnotist, and that's where I play. Yeah. So never, ever, ever, I think, impose suggestion. You know, I suppose the closest I'll get to it is by asking what shape and what colour something is in Move It technique. But you know, if they say to me it's oval, which is quite common, Frederick, you're very common, you've got no imagination. Some people will say it's spiky, some people will say it's smooth, some people will say it's cloud-like, some people will say it's tiny, some people will say it's big. I just accept whatever it is. Because it's not my job to impose that. It's my job to tell them what to do with them.
Yeah, I understand. And I work the same way.
Does that help?
Yeah.
The thing is, try it.
Yeah, I work with symbols already, but in another way. But it's very, you know, it's interesting to see like.
Oh, we all do work with symbols.
Yeah.
But try that, because sometimes the easy method allows you to then immediately find. You know how sometimes you've done a session with somebody and it went quite well, but they come back after a few days or after a week and they're saying, "Oh, now this is happening. I can feel this." Yeah. If you use a method that's very rapid, you get more of those attachments, submodalities, showing, so you can clear even more out, so that the next time they come back, they're not coming back saying, "Oh, I found something else that makes me crap." They're coming back and saying, "Oh, I feel wonderful. Can you make me feel even better?" Yeah. And it's just experiment with it. Try it. See what happens. It's much more rapid because they're using their subconscious, and you're not using your conscious to slow all that down. Yeah. Okay, we've reached the 2 hours, all.
Wow, it's wonderful. We're thrilled. I'm thrilled.
Me too.
Everybody who's thrilled will raise their hands now. Let's
Go thrilled. I'm Jonathan.
Like wow.
That's a big wow. It's been excellent. It's been very generous. It's really enjoyable, and I'm very curious to see your videos. So I'm going to be up tonight and check some stuff out, and we can continue discussing this. Please send your stuff, mail it. We will distribute it blatantly, matching your blatantness.
Yeah, you'll find links to videos and stuff on my website, jonathanchase.com.
Beautiful.
Great.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Been great.
Bye.